Welcome to Startup Confidential, what industry insiders will never tell you that you need to know if you're building a consumer brand. With your host, best-selling author of Ramping Your Brand, Dr. James Richardson. Let's do this.
Welcome to episode 136, a preview of the updated edition to Ramping Your Brand. All right, straight to the point. What precisely has changed in the new expanded and updated edition, you wonder? All right, first of all, I've got updated case examples throughout the book from verified skate ramp brands that grew to $100 million using exponential growth based on velocity growth and distribution gains, not just the latter. I've even got a new unicorn brand and why it happened so fast. The reality is that the skate ramp brands are still forming and the model is still rare. Most of them did not actually plan to accelerate this fast. So when you get on the ramp, you want to be prepared well in advance to keep it going. That's part of why I wrote this book to begin with, so that people don't fall off. 2, there's 3 new chapters of content. Last summer, I went through my most commonly asked questions during my author Q&A calls, which I do a couple times a year. And I found a way to address a lot of those with just 2 new chapters, the most common ones. Okay, the first new chapter, a reality check on seeding your business. One of the founder problems that I stumbled upon as I was launching my own professional services business for early stage brands was the very high initial cost of getting natural organic products onto retail shelves. And the fact that so many founders I was meeting simply had not done their homework on these costs. When you don't do your homework on the operating costs of any business model, or the pace at which you will get paid, bad things happen. Otherwise promising ideas faceplant. And I have watched this happen dozens of times since 2017. Opportunities get squandered. Your fees for consulting are also wasted, essentially. A few experiences like this have convinced me to stop working with startups altogether, except in a super limited capacity. It's just a poor use of my time and founders' money to get long-term strategy assistance when the business was financially a house of balsa wood cards. So this new chapter will talk about how to think through planning the seed amount that you need. All right, the second new chapter, riding the ramp in slow categories. For a while, I've received questions about what to do to accelerate in categories that do not get purchased that often. And the reality is that my skate ramp metaphor, it has variations on the slope of the ramp, right? Just like the math that it's based on. So in the updated edition, I have a new chapter on 2 different ramps. And they're the most common ones that I see, and they both lead to faster times to scale with the same beneficial market result. The slower ramp can work for less frequently purchased categories. So it's not true that your purchase cycle has to be, like milk. Okay, and the third new chapter is one that no one asked for, but many need. One of the more frustrating patterns from the 2010s is the hijacking of founder brands by institutional investors who continue to target founders unprepared, personally, for leading a complex, rapidly growing CPG organization. They like your product, they like the business and its momentum in the market, but they're interested in getting rid of you. And, the reality is becoming a founder who rides the ramp and scales with the business is a very hard leadership journey for anybody. And that difficulty is due not only to the pace of growth and the scale of the growing organization, it's that founders have remarkably little time to evolve compared to, a big co-professional walking through a 30-year career path. The more that founders can evolve from innovators to strategists to leaders in record time, the easier it becomes for boards to trust them with continued control. So if you want control and wealth, like you want the payoff at the end, you need to read this content and meditate on it. And you need to put in the time to professionally develop yourself as you ride the ramp. And the third component that's new are cool new branded cases. So in this edition, I actually had written permission from a couple brands to release their data in a way I did not have in 2019. You see, the scanner data firms don't allow the publication of brand-identified charts or data without company permission. And this is why you see almost no published case studies of emerging brands with scanner data analytics. It's all door counts, distribution points, percentages of growth, but everything real, like you could actually use to diagnose the business. So I've actually included some of those to show you best practices in action and what they yield. All right, so here's a brief excerpt from the new final chapter on the evolution of a founder. Noam Wasserman wrote the definitive, extensively researched tome on startup management in 2013. The Founder's Dilemmas covers the decision to become a founder, initial team formation, and internal startup management as you scale. If you have not read this book, please grab a copy right now. Many problems that crop up later originate in poorly thought through decisions made in the first months of the business. I kid you not. He has the data. What has gone under-discussed in the literature on startups, though, is the need for founders hell-bent on retaining control to evolve their thinking and behavior as the business scales, and inevitably becomes more complex to manage and lead. Founders have to agree to spend each line item on the budget. This necessitates some mutual understanding of even specialized topics. The main reason no one discusses a founder's development from scrappy entrepreneur to effective bureaucratic leader of a business operating at scale, such as Dan Lebetsky, Sarah Blakely, and Ju Ryu, is that most founders get replaced on the journey to scale. I mean, that's the reality, historically at least. Quote, "It is the rare founder who achieves this entrepreneurial idea of building a business, running it, and getting rich from it." End quote. Maintaining control and generating wealth are elusive bedfellows in startup land, according to Wasserman's research. One of the most important developments working against anyone achieving this rare ideal in consumer products is the increasing bias of institutional investing firms towards pros, including serial founders. There's your free excerpt. Please mark your calendars for February 25th, which is launch day. There'll be a launch party invitation going out here and on my email lists and LinkedIn and wherever else I can place it to celebrate the new edition. And we'll have a trivia contest to see if someone can win some signed hardcovers. And if you have to be first, if you're one of those, pre-orders are live now on Amazon. Just make sure you're looking at the listing for the updated and expanded edition. And pre-order away! Thanks, everybody. Be safe out there.
Thanks for listening. Remember, Dr. Richardson has loads of resources for founders at premiumgrowthsolutions.com. And when you're on his site, don't forget to take his founders quiz and see if you're ready to ride the skate ramp of exponential growth.